Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Director of Universitas Brawijaya, Prof. Widodo, with the ranks. Honorable Prof. Lukman Hakim, along with the ranks. Honorable the keynote speakers, Mr. Andi Kurniawan, Universitas Brawijaya, and Dr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraja, Seameo, Thailand. Honorable the head of Pusat Layanan KKN, Mr. Yusron Sugiarto, PhD, along with the ranks, and all the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Endang Mirasari, and it is an honor for me to be a master of ceremony today, and very welcome you all to the second conference on youth community leadership and engagement cycle 2022 with the theme Students as an Agents of Change in Community Development for Supporting MBKM Program, October 28, 2022. Before we start the conference, let us pray together. Amin. I hope our prayer will be granted by Allah, and may Allah bless our activity today. And for the start, let us listening our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, step on to the following agenda are speeches. The first, to officially opening this conference, We cordially invite the head of Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian kepada Masyarakat Universitas Brawijaya, Profesor Lukman Hakim, to deliver a speech for us. Please, sir, time is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala salim sayyidina Muhammad. Honorable keynote speakers in this conference, Dr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraja from Mau, Thailand, and Professor Irfan Priyambada from Mada University, and Dr. Andipur Kurniawan, best friend from Brawijaya University, Fisheries and Marine Science, then all of the participants that attend in this conference. So this great honor for me to extend to you all a very warm welcome to the University of Brawijaya. On the behalf of Institute of Research and Service of University of Brawijaya, I deliver my sincere gratitude to especially Pak Yusron Sugiarto and his team, staff in the Center of the Community Service, or we call it KKN, team KKN, for organizing this conference entitled Conference on Youth Community Leadership and Engagement 2022. The cycle is especially very important for us. It is especially crucial to support and to increase our student ability to share the idea, the knowledge, the idea to support the community development. This is one of the program that initiated to provide a platform for the students to show their work in community service and engagement, especially in this year. This program actually is also related with the main target university that we could have the index kinerja utama. This program, the students should be able to attend in the conference, and it is one of the student international achievement of course, and also has benefit especially in the aspect of indicator that lecture able to supervise outstanding student to attend in the international conference. So once again, it is our honor from University of Brawijaya, most of the cycle to knowledge to all of you, and innovation, technology exchange idea, and to share experience among us. So last but not least, I wish you all enjoy the conference and having a good day. Thank you so much for your attendance, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. And the second speech is the head of Pusat Layanan Kuliah Kerja Nyata, Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian kepada Masyarakat. To Mr. Yusron Sugiarto, PhD, please take your time.
Thank you, MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, Head of Institute of Research and Community Service, Brawijaya University, Head of the institutions of community services, speakers, LPPM staff, lecturers, and all of the participants. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this our conference on Youth Community Leadership and Engagement 2022. This conference is organized by Student Community Services Unit of Institute Research and Community Services, Universitas Brawijaya. I thank you all for turning out in such great number. The level of interest shown by the number of registrations. We receive students from various fields and disciplines of community services and the current issues worldwide. This year, the Student Community Services Unit has organized students' community services for 1,097 students by doing some types of community services in Indonesia. This year, we did collaborations not only with the university in Indonesia, but also with international universities. During the community services, the student did some activity, actions, and progress to optimize the potential resources in the village or the community. We hope it could positively impact the quality of life of our citizens. The theme of this conference is the students as an agent of change in community development for supporting MBKM program. We have 7 sub-themes of this conference, namely student partnership and collaborations beyond borders, student engagement for community resilience, keeping literacy alive, sustainable community engagement, inclusive and powerful volunteering, women influencing community engagement, and innovations for SME resilience. The community has worked very hard. Many more hours, however, we devoted to preparations and to be myriad of activities necessary for the realizations of this conference. I therefore take this opportunity to thank all the members of the community and committee, as well as all my colleagues at the office, whom all contributed in one way or another, and without whom this conference would never have materialized. In this, the day of Sumpah Pemuda, I also encourage all of the youth has a power to change and give positive benefit and give all the spirits to the environment. Once more, I thank you and wish you a good and productive day. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. After this, we will see the presentation from LPPM about company profile. Please enjoy.
The world keeps transforming and facing new challenges. The lack of stable energy supply, insufficient food production due to climate change, and elusive prosperity for numerous people. Institute of Research and Community Services, Brawijaya University, IRCSUB, is ready to answer these challenges. We develop innovative knowledge to generate solutions. As an academic community, we never stop learning and researching in order to contribute to the productivity of natural resources. Together with local academics, Institute of Research and Community Services has served and worked collectively with the people to preserve the economic fairness. Small, medium enterprises development is also our concern. IRCSUB plays a role in creating good management to become more competitive. We are visionaries and globally perceptive, but we prioritize our domestic issues. IRCSUB constantly aspire to be the actor of people prosperity through the development of natural and social science. In addition to scholarly publication, we apply our intellect to build a structured mindset. Brawijaya University embraces synergizing with industries, answering the challenge in the era Internet of Things.
Institute for Research and Community Services of Brawijaya University is the first line of integrating intellectual activities for the Indonesian prosperity. We have researched and served as an effort to contribute the national competitiveness development based on science and technology. We consider problem as an interesting challenge to be explored by continuing credibility improvement and collaborative ability enhancement with industry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As a legal entity state university, Brawijaya University is required to improve its capacity in research, community service, and informational publications. To answer this challenge, Institute of Research and Community Service is developing flagship programs by raising the national and global issue to contribute in sustainable development programs through the integrated and multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The goal of our research is to help the small and medium enterprise in Indonesia to develop their human resource management capacity by applying the application that will help them to scale up their business to be better for the Indonesian economy in the future.
IRSC, Brawijaya University, serving the nation through the research activity.
Finally, it is our high time in this conference session, Cycle 2022, with the theme Student as Agents of Change in Community Development for Supporting MPKM Program. Without any further ado, again, I welcome Mr. Andi Kurniawan, Universitas Brawijaya, and Dr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraja. Both of you will be accompanied by Mr. Bayu Kusuma. Please, gentlemen, take your time. In a while, let me introduce in a brief Mr. Bayu Kusuma. Bayu Adi Kusuma, SP MBA, Socioeconomics, Faculty of Agriculture, Universitas Brawijaya. Academic history. Major in Agriculture Extension and Communication Development, Universitas Brawijaya Indonesia, 2021. Master of Agribusiness Management, Prince of Songkla University, Thailand, MBA 2015. Bachelor degree in Agriculture Extension and Communication. Thank you. For Mr. Bayu Adi Kusuma, please take your time.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all of the participants in this occasion. It is an honor for me as a moderator for today's occasion. This is a very good opportunity to students to present their result of their activity in the community. Before we start the plenary session, I would like to show you the curriculum vitae of the okay, the first is Mr. Andi Kurniawan. Mr. Andi Kurniawan is from Fisheries and Marine Resource Management, Brawijaya University. His working hour as a lecturer at Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Resources Management, University of Brawijaya, 2005 to present. Ranking 1 as a lecturer with achievement in University of Brawijaya, 2019. He is also the best presenter at the first Indonesian Symposium on Microbial Ecology in Universitas Gadjah Mada, 2019. And also Research Award, Kokusei Teiki Award, Ritsumeikan University Japan, 2019. For the academic history, Bachelor degree in Fisheries and Marine Resource Management, 2003. And also as a Master Advanced Science and Engineering, Applied Chemistry at Ritsumeikan University, Japan in 2009. Mr. Andi Kurniawan took doctoral degree of Integrated Science, Engineering, Biotechnology at Ritsumeikan University, Japan in 2013. And then the second presenter, the second is Mr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraj, PhD, from Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization, SAMEO. His working experience as Secretariat of Research, Evaluation and Assessment Specialist in Southeast Asian Ministry of Education Organization, SAMEO, 2022 until now. The second is Strategic Planning and International Relations Department at Middle East, African, European, and Asian countries, UNESCO, 4 years. And also as assistant at Ministry of Education in Malaysia. His academic history, Bachelor of Science Education at University of Malaysia, Sabah, Malaysia, 2008. And also Master in Science Education, Sultan Idris Education University, Malaysia, 2012. And the last doctoral degree of Science Education at University of Malaysia in 2017. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Andi Kurniawan to present their material. Pak Andi Kurniawan, are you?
Okay, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Everyone.
Good morning, Pak Andi. I would like to give you opportunity for 30 minutes,
Okay.
around 30 minutes. After that, we will have some discussion, maybe for 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, we are going to the second the second metric for Dr. Kamal. Okay, Pak Andi, 30 minutes, around 30 minutes, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good morning, everyone. Let me to share my material. I'm sorry. There's something trouble with my computer. I will restart again. And for everyone, Selamat Hari Sumpah Pemuda. This is really the good time. It is the right time to speak about young leader and the future of the nation. And in this great opportunity, I want to share to all of you about some perspective that will include student, independent learning and independent campus or MBKM, and of course, the future of the nation. And all of that I will say to you is just an idea that I want to share, and I hope can improve your analytic thinking, your awareness about what happened in our nation and what happened in our education. Let me start with the concept of generation. Who generation and how the concept generation will be used in the development. I believe most all of you is born after 1995 or after 2000. And because that, most of you is part of the Gen Z generation or internet generation. And this generation concept really can explain why in the history of the nation, many good movement, many important movement is proposed by the student, proposed by the young people. Start from the first generation that we said is the boomer generation, this generation born after World War II, and the condition in that time make this generation really care about family, about the safety, about the peace. And then after that, the generation concept is driven by the improvement of technology. And finally, come to your generation. What happened with this generation? There are three main characters of this generation. Digital native, have ambitious, and also has a good self-confidence. If many of you don't have this characteristic, so in my opinion, there is something wrong with your updated information. This is really the three main characters of your generation. And from these three main characters, we can make a prediction what happened 23 years again in this nation. Why 23 years again? 20 years again, it's mean 2045 is satu abad Indonesia, one of century of our nation. This is the time for our nation to really look, to really evaluate the achievement of the country. And in the time, most of the people, most of the leader is the people in the same age with you. And this generation, your generation, really really try to find not only about the definition about taxes in the money or in the salary, but more deep from that. This generation really looking teamwork atmosphere, looking for the chance to be a part of something that larger than ourselves, and give opportunity to express then share our idea. And this generation also step into the workforce when the awareness about the balancing line is important in organization. And this generation also looking for the growth chance, care about growing and expanding their scale, and also find the organization or the institution that can offer opportunity and also challenge to make their life better, to make the professional life better. And of course, your generation is also generation that try to find opportunity to use, to get conferences and develop technology. So from this perspective, we can predict what happened about 25 years ago. And all of you know, in 2048, our nation, Indonesia, in the peak of demographic bonus. Indeed, in that time, 60% of the citizen is in productive life. But this bonus demographic can become a very bad problem if your generation don't prepare pension, don't prepare what happened really after 50 and 20 years ago. In this case, we can evaluate that one of the most important things to prepare the future of the nation is the education in your generation. And for that, there are some concepts about student and independent learning, independent campus. Exactly what is the concept? Before we start the concept, I try to use some facts, important facts. I hope all of you, all of the students know that they are very, very lucky, because from the senior high student that can come to the college, it's not more than 30%. So you can follow this conference, you can hear this speak. It's indicator that you just a less part of the young generation that lucky to have this opportunity. And just 8.5% of the Indonesian can graduate from college. From this number, we can understand that what your achievement as student really the foundation of the future of this country. And mostly of Indonesian, 65% of Indonesian is just graduate from junior high school. From this fact, I really want to say to all of you, the student, the future of the country, you really, really lucky and you really important for this country. And what you do as a student not only will define your future, but also the future of the country. And I really, really hope in this day, in the Sumpah Pemuda days, all of you really get this spirit, this awareness that what you do is not only for you and your family, but also for the nation. And this is a small fact also. They are interesting fact. Mostly of the student, college student now is woman, girl. More than 56% of the college student is girl. However, if we look the number of dropout rate based on gender, mostly dropout student is a man. So in this case, I'm not surprised. I predict the leader of the future of this nation is many came from women. And there are some explanation for the men why the most of the student is a girl, but most of the dropout student is a man. There's something wrong in the education process. And if we see why the student is very important and why the leadership and the choice activity of the student is important, we must start with the condition that campus is a center of culture. Campus is not just the place to get the degree, but the process to make the future of the nation start. And in this process, in education, there are two sides, like a coin side. One side is science and technology, and another side is life value. And like a coin, we cannot separate this fact. If you get a degree, but you cannot stop the life value, you not educated people. You just teach people. In Indonesia, you not follow the education, but you just follow pengajaran. And science and technology and life value, the process that makes someone to become intellectual. And intellectual, what is make intellectual different with another person that don't get a good level of education is how to choose the response. Because everyone, including of you, in every step of the life, will get many stimulus. They are a success, they are a failed, they are a happy thing, they are a sad thing. And between the stimulus and the response, there are independency to choose that make who you are. We not what we say, but we what we do. And our identity, who we are, really will define by the choices that we choose between the stimulus and response. They are a nonsense when someone said, I'm very easy to get angry because I'm from the east of Indonesia, because I'm from the culture that make angry is something that easy to be happen. It's a nonsense because between the stimulus and the response, there are choices, they are independent. And what will define the choices that we choose? First is self-awareness. Second is conscience, hati nurani. Third is independencies. And fourth is imagination. Who we are really will define by what we choose. And what we choose really will define by our self-awareness, our conscience, our independency, and our imagination about something that abstract, like development, like life value, that define that something that make we different with animal. We have imagination. And all of this process, the fundamental process of the studying. And of course, for studying, we need strategy. And in the strategy, there are at least two main points: strategic thinking and strategic planning. And what we plan and what we think as a student will define our identity. And our identity, your identity as a student, is agent of change. Why? Because between stimulus and response, there are choices. And this choice really based on science and technology and life value. And because students do this, students have a basic science and technology and have a good foundation about life value, then can see something is right or wrong. What happened in the nation, what happened in the community, and what it should do, what it should we get. That's why the student is agent of the change in the country. And if this is one of the important thing about what World Economic Forum said. In 2025, there are 10 top skills that will make someone success. And in this skill, there are no mathematics, there are no English, there are no literature. Analytic thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategy, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technological use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance, flexibility, reasoning, problem solving and ideation. I'm Vice Dean of Academic Affairs, but I should say that the process in the class is not enough to make all of you get this skill. If we see the color, we can know the type of skill. There are 4 very important skills that students should have: problem solving, self-management, working with people, technology use and development. And unfortunately, mostly of your class don't prepare enough process for this. And if you don't aware about this, it's not the problem also for you and your family, but also problem for Indonesia, for the nation. That's why in the education, there are process. Your as student will follow the learning ecosystem and become a graduate. The question is, what learning process should you choose? What learning process that you should take? I don't care even the university provide it or not, but it is about your future and your future about the nation future. So whatever the condition, you should choose the right learning ecosystem. And the ideal learning ecosystem in the present time of education is not enough in the class. It's not enough in the laboratory. There should cover the integration process between courses in the class, main campus laboratory, off-campus laboratory, resources sharing facility on campus. Because, for example, what happened in the economic faculty is also can be used by student in the agricultural faculty, for example, because we in the era of interdisciplinary science, and also should promote the student to understand about ecosystem in the nature. And finally, to get advantage benefit from the partner university facility. It can be from the abroad university, it can be from the company that can promote the facility that help the student to improve the education process. And then we can achieve 3 main important point for the higher education trend. We need student-centered approach. We need flexible learning pathway. And also we need recognizing competencies that student can get in the process of off-campus. And all of the process really can be conducted by promote community services. If you see this process is really the process then can be achieved by promote program like community services. And integrated community services in the formal process, it is the main course of Merdeka Belajar or independent learning. And independent learning really connected with independent campus. That's why your process as student, your process to become the leader of the country, really close with the integration process of learning ecosystem, really close with the community service concept, and it is the answer for the Merdeka Belajar concept. And what happened in the history in the future? We see why your future in the nation future. If we see the Indonesia story, start from Budi Utomo, 1908. So pandemic is not the first experience of this country. We have a pest pandemic in 1908, start from Malang, when we import rice from the Myanmar, and the rice have a pest virus in there. And in the Dampit, in the Malang city, the atmosphere, the climate is very good for the pest, and we start the pandemic. And this pandemic make most of the young doctor, pribumi doctor, Indonesian doctor, can see that there are something wrong when European doctor don't want to touch the Indonesian patient. They said, this is our country. This is a pandemic. This is a problem. This is the way we can see that something wrong in this country. And who start this Budi Utomo? The people in your age. Today, today, 1928, who the people that say Sumpah Memuda? The people in your age. 1945, Sukarni and friend really make the proclamation of the independence of Indonesia happen, not waiting the Sukarno and another senior people, because they see this is a big opportunity, and they can see this opportunity because they have a young spirit. 1968, Tritura, 1974, when the problem of the infestation from the abroad really make intervention in Indonesian government policy. And then 1978, dia NKK, BKK, Normalisasi Kehidupan Kampus, Badan Koordinasi Kemahasiswaan Indonesian, that the government changed the student activity platform, then make the student not more aware again with the social phenomena. My generation, 1998, all of this story made by the student, the people in your age. And your generation have a three big problem: climate change, revolution industry 4.0, and pandemic COVID-19. What you do, what we do, what we create from this condition will define what happened with this nation. And the history of the nation, in this nation, really show that generation that define what happened is young generation, the people in your age. That way I can share to you. I hope it really can make a good point, another perspective for you, and make all of you can really understand the important part, the important foundation, what you do in your study and what you do for the future, not only for you, your family, but also for the future of the country. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Andi Kurniawan. This very good presentation and very good. The content is very good for us, for the student also. Is there any question for Mr. Andi? All of the participants, you can raise your hand, and you also can type the question. This is an interesting topic. The slide show that most of the female will have a dominant as a leader in the future, and this is very, very interesting data. And also as an agent of change. Before we continue, if there is any question, I will ask some question to Pak Andi. The characteristic of our student right now is a Gen Z student, and you have been described also in as agent of change, and for the study, the strategy, the strategic thinking, also strategic planning. In your opinion, is there a specific strategy? Because in my perspective, the student must be student centered learning, and also they must be self-directed learning. Is there any opinion from Pak Andi?
Okay, it's very nice point of view, Mr. Bayu, and also for the student. Why I said the strategy of the student to choose the learning pathway is important, because even as a Vice Dean of Academic Affairs, I should say that the process in the class is not enough to prepare our student, prepare the young generation to become really the leader of this nation. However, there are many additional process. There are many optional process that student can choose. For example, active in the organization, student organization body, or choose many of scientific competition, and also become a volunteer in many community services process. Like also join this conference, because I believe this conference, not many students really understand the important aspect of this conference. And the student that really understand that their process not only will define their success, but also the future of the nation, should really care to carefully choose the process. And one of the biggest opportunity in this time, in their time, is Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka in BKM. But based on the philosophy, this is the independent learning. This means if the student don't want to choose this pathway of learning, it's also part of the independency. But it becomes very advantageous woman for the nation if the student not really aware about this one. So as a student, really try to make a clear imagination picture. What will you do in the 25 years again? And what is the main objective of main target to define the success of yourself, and then carefully choose what the activity, what the additional process, what is the part of the MBKM that the student choose for the benefit of education process. And this really need high thinking level of awareness. That's why strategic thinking and strategic planning is important. And the smart student, the good student, high awareness student will really look community services is one of the best program that they should take. That's my opinion, Mr. Bayu.
Okay, thank you, Pandi. In your slide, is there any question? There are no questions. Okay, then I will ask for our discussion today. On your slide, top 10 skill of 2025. Top skill is problem solving, self-management, and working with people, and also technology use and development. And if we try to understand the next future, in your opinion, because you are also the vice dean in academic, as you said that the student need more skill to solve the problem. So when they join organization, when they join the community services program, is it in our classroom, we need to add more case study, more outside activity, or any other activity that student will engage with the real life problem? What about that?
Yes. If we look, this top 10 skill is really a very good evaluation and suggestion for us. And this is all type of skill, really close to the soft skill that should student build in their self. And unfortunately, the process in conventional class is not enough to prepare this process, because mainly our class still evaluate the student from the mark from the conventional test. And one of the alternative is to modify the process in the class, and to make the student more aware about the problem in the real society, in the development, is bring the problem in the society, in the development, to the class, to discuss it, to try to more understand deeply, to get a deep insight about the problem. And this insight can be achieved if the student and also, of course, the lecturer discuss the problem. So we call it a problem-based class, problem-based study. However, to understand what really happened, to know the root cause, the problem in development of society, is not all the part of the important thing. Another important thing is how to solve it. And how to solve it include two main process. First, how we analyze the process, how we can choose many alternatives and choose the best priority for the solution. And the second part, how we can share the idea, how we can lead the people so the people can agree with the idea and give the energy together, really try to apply the idea. And this process is can be achieved by promote team-based project in the class. So I really agree the concept that the class, the lecturer, should help the student to can more understand the real problem in the society, in the development, and bring to the class, discuss it as a process project-based method, analysis it using the science ethnology, and then choose the alternative, promote the idea, make another people understand, make another people believe in this idea, and then working together. And this skill really can be driven by the activity of community service, accompanied by the project-based method and team-based project. And unfortunately, mostly of our class not provide that process for the student. And who will get the negative impact mostly if follow this conventional class? The student themselves. Lecturer, prepare the lecturer, give the lecturer, get salary, everything is almost finished. But for the student, it's not just about mark, grade. This is about a skill, character, ability for their future. And what they can do in their future will define our nation future. That's maybe Mr. Bayu in my perspective.
Okay, thank you, Pandi. So it means that the student will work and will a lot of assignment based on the problem in the community, analyze the problem in the community, and prepare to solve the problem. That's, I think, more appropriate to our student right now, to the Gen Z student. There is one question, Pandi, at the chat room. As you know that nowadays students have many facilities for their life. Do you think that technology give a good or bad impact to the student manner or soft skill if there is no free time for us? This is from Faisal, I think, from Faisal. Sorry. Do you think that technology give a good or bad impact to student manner of soft skill improvement? As we know that there are many easiness for students to collect some information, to download article, to find the case in the real life. Is there any opinion about this question, Pandi?
Okay, Mr. Bayu, it's very nice question. Okay. There are two questions from Faisal.
Okay. The second question is, the student has already busy with academic stuff, such as assignment, laboratory, and etc. How can we improve the soft skill if there is no free time for us?
First, for Faisal, is a good perspective. I want to cite what the Albert Einstein say about technology, about the technology. Einstein said technology is developed, made to make the life of people more easier, to improve the condition of the life, to better life. However, many of the technology give another impact, make more trouble than the benefit. For example, the weapon technology. Albert Einstein say it when he evaluate about the development of weapon technology. Technology just a tool. Technology is just like a knife that we can use to cook food or to stab the people. Technology just tools. Technology is exactly neutral. What happened with technology really depend on who use the technology. And technology will give benefit or the big impact really depend on the awareness of the who that use the technology. So, for example, the student in our era, in Mr. Bayu and my era, to understand about definition is not the easy problem. For example, in my field of study, there are a term about the plankton, for example. In your generation, it's very easy. Just take your smartphone, open the Google, and click definition of plankton. In our era, we just can write down the plankton term, and then after the class, we go to the library and try to find the book. If we lucky, we can get good the book that explain it, or if we in the bad lucky moment, even 1 or 2 hours, we cannot understand what is the plankton. So I think in Gen Z era, the technology development can give many benefit, many good things, many evidences for you. However, if you not choose based your self-awareness, conscience, independency, imagination, you will choose technology as the tool, as a way to block your future. But if you can make the smart choices, you can know what really important to do. The student will use the technology to improve their education process. Like this conference is impossible in my era. It's impossible. It's very difficult to invite the speaker and very costly. But nowadays it's very easy. Just 5 minutes before become the speaker, I go to Udisium, and just 5 minutes I can change the atmosphere. It's impossible without technology. So yes, technology can give the negative impact, but what will define the technology meaning is our choice, and our choice will define who we are. And how about the free time? Example that I said to you, I think nowadays present student, get a more free time than my generator, Mr. Bayu era. And even you don't have free time because you do laboratory activity, field study, practicum of another activity, believe me, in the future, no free time will also become your problem. And the important thing, the fundamental thing that you should prepare, how manage the no free time to give the benefit for the education process. How our activity, our busy time, don't separate us from the real life of a human, for example. Don't make we don't do community service to improve our co-science and soft skill. That's if really no free time is become the problem. So if you really very busy, there are no free time, this is your challenge. This is your problem that you also will face in the future. And if you cannot solve this problem, I cannot imagine what happened in the future in your life. So I think it's very important for the student. I know the conventional class, the activity in the class, and many people just evaluate our success from EPK, from grade, but the real process of education is not it. It's not all the process of the problem. The most important investation in your life is your activity as a student. And based on this condition, please choose the best investation. Please choose the best activity that can become additional activity for you. Then prepare your success, not only as a person or a part of family, but also the future of the country. Thank you, Mr. Bayu. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Pak Andi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very useful suggestion for our student. I still remember the type of skill, 4 type of skill: problem solving, self-management, working with people, and also technology use and development. This is the investigation all of the student need to spend your time. So if you have no time, I think Pak Andi also understand that if you take 24 credit, then you will have academic activity for 11 to 13 hours a day. So you need to manage that time. So you must have management skill to manage yourself, manage your time, manage your activity, and etc. And also working with people. I think communication, interpersonal communication, public speaking, and other, you need to improve that skill. So we will go to the next speaker, but before we go to the next speaker, I will give opportunity to Pak Andi to give closing statement. Pak Andi, monggo.
Thank you, Mr. Bayu. And particularly for the student, what happened in your life is really will defined by what your activity choose. And honestly, I said, even as a vice academic affair, the process in the class is not enough to prepare your future, to prepare the future of the nation. That's why please really use the opportunity from the community service as a part of MBKM, as a process for your additional studying process. And really, please make the best investigation that can you do. And in 20 years again, in 2045, it is one century of Indonesia. And 3 years after that, in 2048, is the peak of the demographic bonus of this country. And the God chose you as the people that will lead this country. As the senior, as the old people, I really hope that many of you make a good choice, make a good process in studying. And community service provided by LPPM UB or provided by another program MBKM is the best, one of the best opportunity that can you choose. Make the best investigation and become the future leader of this country. Thank you, Mr. Bayu.
Okay, thank you, Pak Andi. Make the best investigation and be the future leader. That's the closing statement from Pak Andi. Okay, give a big applause to Pak Andi for this session. Thank you very much for your material, for your suggestion, and thank you very much, Fandi. See you on the next
Okay, thank you
event,
so much.
the next occasion.
And good luck, everybody. It's very good activity. I really appreciate it. And I hope you will get the most benefit from this activity. Thank you, Mr. Bayu.
Thank you. See you again.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, and now I'm going to invite Mr. Dr. Kamal from CML. I will introduce you again, Mr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraj, PhD, from Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization. His working experience as Secretariat of Research, Evaluation and Assessment Specialist in Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization. Also, 4 years as a Strategic Planning and International Relations Department, Middle East, African, Europe, and Asian countries at UNESCO. Also as an assistant at Ministry of Education in Malaysia. His academic history, Bachelor degree of Science, Education, University of Malaysia, Sabah, 2008. Master in Science Education, Sultan Idris Education University, Malaysia, 2012. And the last PhD, Doctor of Science Education from University of Malaya, Malaysia, PhD. Okay, Mr. Kamal, are you in this meeting today? How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kamal. I
Yes.
will give you opportunity 30 minutes, around 30 minutes to present your topic.
Okay.
And then after that, we have discussion around 15 to 20 minutes. Is there any question
Okay.
from the participant, or we will discuss based on your topic? Okay, Mr. Kamal, without further ado, I will give you 30 minutes to present your topic. Thank you.
Okay. Can y'all see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, my slides can be seen, yeah? Can I start?
Yes,
Huh?
very clear.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. It's been wonderful to be here with all of you, to all the distinguished delegates, to all the respected guests who was there, the dear students. I was once a student once upon a time. It's really amazing to be seeing you in the screen here, although I can't see your faces nicely, but still it's a pleasure to be here, to be part of this second cycle conference. Well, my name is Kamal. You can call me Dr. Kamal or Kamal. I'm working at CMEO in Bangkok here. And today I'll be sharing with you some of the insights, especially in terms of internalization and globalization of what we think from outside Indonesia. That means like from Southeast Asia, how we are looking forward together in order to upgrade and uplift the quality of youth engagement, particularly in Indonesia, hopefully. So today's title is going to be Addressing Challenges Together Through Youth Engagement and Internalization. I think it's important and it's imperative for us to know what are the challenges that we are facing together as 11 countries, because CMEO is comprising of 11 countries. So before that, my dear students and ladies and gentlemen, we have to know the growth of youth across the globe. Our research shows that China has about 328 million of youth. So quite a lot. And India is 313 million. So it's picking up. And one of the most active country who has recently gained independence is Timor-Leste. It has about 300,000 out of only 1.4 million of youth that comprises 15 to 29 years old. Youth growth, my dear students and ladies and gentlemen, is important because we need to know what are the future economy status, trade, and investment in the near future. Because apart from education, eventually it all leads back to money and how we generate money and generate the economy for our country. So if you look at this, China and India are going to be probably the next superpower in Southeast Asia that is going to lead the youth growth and also the overall sectors across the region. And Timor-Leste, no doubt, they are still struggling and they are still looking forward to come up, but they do have quite a bit of youth growth in their respective country. But unfortunately, allow me to share here some of the research that we have done is an observation that in Thailand, where my office is based here, the youth growth is quite not as predicted. I mean, it's declining, which means that the number of students who are enrolling in the varsities are quite low. For example, there are only about 50 students. I mean, from 150,000, we have about 100,000 who are enrolling in the varsities. So it's 50,000 short. So that shows that the number of youth in Thailand is decreasing, and that is not a healthy scenario that international perspective would like to see. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, I have been informed that we have about 52 million students alone because it comprises so many islands and so many towns and different time zones. So it is also coming as a superpower, hopefully in the near future, that we are looking at Indonesia under the proper governance and administration. With the transparency, I'm pretty sure Indonesia will also lead towards a healthy youth growth. So these are some of the recent and ultimate challenges that are faced by youth across the region, my dear students, because the first thing that comes to my mind and comes to the international perspective is language barrier, because every country, they believe that when we try to campaign for the English language, they try to feel that they want to restrict the expansion of English language itself, because they want to keep their identity. They are afraid that, for instance, Bahasa Melayu or Bahasa Malaysia or the Vietnamese language or the Lao national language will just perish, will just go away, will just disappear. They are afraid that the identity of the culture and identity of the religion will just go away if we focus on English language. But please allow me to give you the faith that English is actually a national or international language, that any country or any government or any varsity shouldn't be afraid to uphold and uplift the quality of English, not just for 10% of the population and then we just keep quiet. Not just 20% of the population and then we just keep quiet. Oh, we have about a few 100,000 who can speak English. No, if the population is about 28 million or 30 million or 250 million, we want to ensure that all of these people can speak good English, including the youth. So we can't just put away the possibility of having good English language around the global. So the second thing, it is not within our what we call jurisdiction. It's actually about diversity or politics or policies. This is not in our hands, my dear students and lecturers and ladies and gentlemen. It's influenced by political bureaucracy. It is not in our hands, but we still need to know, especially if you're a youth, you need to know the different type of policies, different type of politics that's going around, and you need to be aware the importance of giving votes. You need to know the importance of how important you yourself is for your country and how you can generate for a better outcome in the respective of the development of a nation. So you need to know about that. Even though you can't influence much, at least the knowledge on this is crucial to overcome challenges in a general perspective. So the third one is neoliberal approach, less elitist approach. This means that the rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer, which means that the rich can get a better opportunity for education. The one with a better political atmosphere probably can get a better chance to go to overseas. This one could be what they call overcome by the government bureaucrats. The government bureaucrats are crucial in this. So if the student is doing very well in the exam, he or she shouldn't be denied the right to go abroad or to get a scholarship and not to be surpassed by other candidates who have some elitist approach or some political background. So he or she should go forward. So these are some of the challenges that we are still facing in Southeast Asia. The fourth one will be culture differences, lack of assimilation. Culture differences is there to stay. We cannot eliminate the culture differences because it is who we are. We are human beings. So everybody is different in their own way. Everybody is unique in their own way. So what we can do as human beings, as a youth, is to assimilate more, is to mix around more, is to move around more. is to talk with different languages, is to talk in English or in Malay or in Java or any language that you feel comfortable, is to know about them, to learn about them, because we are not alone in this country or in your university. The world is big. The world is beyond your imagination. So you should mix around more, you should learn around more, and that's how you expand your knowledge through observation. Not everything comes by book. Not everything that you learn you're going to apply. But sometimes those things that you see through your eyes and you hear through your ears are much more crucial when it comes to, especially when you go to your working arena. Take an example of myself. I was working as a what you call a government officer in the Ministry of Education in Malaysia. And after 5 years working there, I'm here at the headquarters of Bangkok here with CMO in what they call doing all the international and globalization work here. So I have to assimilate, I have to move around. If I don't have the experience, it'll be tough for me to move around here, to know things, to acknowledge matters, and to get things done. So move around more, assimilate more, don't differentiate one another, but look into the similarity, what we have as a human being first, before we start to see the differences. Differences is secondary, similarity comes first. So the fifth thing will be lack of financial support or human resource and competencies. So this is also a crucial, important element that from the South Asia's perspective, we are looking at this. So whenever we get a chance, we definitely will what they call sponsor, or we'll give some sponsorship, or we'll give some tender or project that can uplift the quality of an education of a student, especially, or give them to come here as a trainer or what they call attachment. So these are some of the things that we are looking forward, that how we can help the youth. And the final thing will be lack of higher education recognition. You see, not all universities are recognized in Southeast Asia. For instance, Singapore, I'm sure you know about Singapore. Singapore is an educational hub, it's a transnational higher education organization. It moves forward, it moves fast, it has many donors, it has many companies, it has a variety of foreign investment inside Singapore itself. So that is actually an excellent attribute to have an investment, or of course you can say that trade speaks louder. So, but this, not all South Asian countries are blessed with such a profound or predominantly economic status. Not all Southeast Asian universities has this perks or has this advantage. But of course, you can always argue with me and say Singapore is a small nation and it doesn't have many people inside. So of course, it's easy to govern a country with lesser population as compared to Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, who has so many people to govern with different variety of people. Diversity is great. The culture is amazing. So of course, you can argue with me on that perspective, but there are things that we can learn from Singapore, is to be transparent, is to ensure that the student gives the best, is to ensure that all of them speak in English. 1965, if I'm not mistaken, Singapore got its independence. But since then, they have made English language to be one of the top language in their country. And today, even the taxi drivers, the hawker sellers, anyone in Singapore speaks in English, and that's how they have managed to pour in so many foreign investors into Singapore. And that is why the youth there are always recognized and given a what they call a perspective or a price tag, a priceless price tag. So wherever you go, if the student comes from National University of Singapore, Nanyang Technology Singapore, they are seen as one of the best youth that Southeast Asia can see. So we are looking towards that. Of course, we are also having amazing university like Gajah Mada for medical, and many other, Surabaya for veterinary science, which is in Malang, if I'm not mistaken. So we are looking forward to have more recognition from the outside, because eventually, without recognition, without the quality of assurance, it's tough for any university to move. But you have to move forward as a youth. You have to bring out the best in you. You start off with English language, master it, mix around, assimilate more, and try to look beyond your university. Don't just think that your life ends in the university, but always think there's a world outside there, and you need to explore and move forward and try to expand more. Okay. This is some of the insights that I can share with you on higher education in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is one of the most vibrant, fastest growing region in the world. With a population of 630 million, we have a significant score or share of global trade and investment. Southeast Asia is a home for about 7,000 higher education with 12 million students across the Southeast Asia. As connectivity increases, ASEAN community expands, and we are looking forward to move faster in terms of internalization sector, because in the end, as I told you from the beginning, that it all comes back to trade, investment, and money. So we have to look forward to generate better income, better economic perspective in our own country. So you can see this diagram more or less, it gives you what you call overall perspective on how things are moving around the Southeast Asia outside of Indonesia. So as for CMU, where I'm working here now, it's actually priorities. This priority is for 7 areas, 2015 to 2035. These are our 7 priority areas. So recently we are focusing on priority 6, if you can see the screen, promoting harmonization in higher education research. So this is actually one of our prime target, to engage more and more youth to enhance themselves, especially in capacity building, to be seen, to be visible, to be able to speak, to be able to govern a specific task, or move forward, engage brainstorming. So we are looking to upgrade and uplift more of this under the priority 6. So we are also looking at how youth can promote itself and move forward in terms of setting brave new standards, stretching brand new boundaries, and securing a better hope for yourself first before the university. So you have to think about how you upgrade yourself, then only you think about the university. So because automatically when you upgrade yourself, you're indirectly upgrading the university itself, because you will become an asset for the university. So that's how, then that is why we are looking at how youth can perform better in terms of internalization. So these are some of the strategic plan that CMU has laid out. So if you can see the screen, I'll just go this briefly, that we have our vision, core values, that how we believe that the youth should engage more and more, especially in services, strives to excellence, because it has to come from your inner quality. It has to come from you itself, that you want to change, you want to move forward, you want to upgrade yourself, you want to make yourself better. How do you make yourself better? Go for courses, go for workshops, attend yourself in conferences that you can speak. Make sure there's a role play for you. Don't attend conferences when you have no chance to speak. If you're ashamed of yourself, please don't be. Have more friends, move around, mix around. Don't just stay in the classroom or in the lecture hall, study, listen, take down notes. No, this is the time for you to change. This is the time for you to show that you are here to collaborate, to cooperate, and to engage, and to lay out your plans. That is the function of youth, and you should do it when you're still in a younger age. Don't expect to do when you're 40, 50 years old like me, balding already. So you should be actually engaging yourself more at your age. When I was in the varsity, I tried my level best to do the same, and it paid off. And I feel better. I feel great. I feel motivated. But of course, you'll have ups and downs, my dear students. Life is not a bed of roses. You will have ups and downs. There will be students who are failing the class. There will be students who are failing the subject. There will be students who are not attending the class properly. This is a norm for a human being. Sometimes we take time to get adjusted. Sometimes we take our moments to lay back, and then slowly we move up the ladder. But don't worry, human beings are the most organized organism in the whole world. We have brains to think, we have brains to make up our decisions. So I'm very sure, and I'm pretty sure that you can be passionate about your work and try to go along with your classes. So these are the priority 6. I can just read out to you. For the SDG 4, which is in line with the UNESCO, we are actually looking forward to increase the number of youth and adults who with relevant skills, particularly in technical and vocational skills, because not all students or youth are good in their brainstorming or in giving out ideas. Some of them are good with their hands. Some of them are good with their workshop technical skills. So we are looking forward to upgrade this under TVET especially, and of course, to increase the employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. By 2030, we hope to expand globally. After Southeast Asia, we are hoping to expand globally with the number of scholarships. Don't expect for scholarships because the world is never fair. As I told you, that sometimes somebody else will surpass you. You just work hard, work pretty hard, and move ahead the ladder. Because I'll give you an example of myself. I never received any scholarship right up to my PhD. And I only received a scholarship at my PhD level. I didn't receive any other scholarship other than PhD, and it wasn't an attractive scholarship when I received for my PhD as well, because I had to work, I had to do research, other research apart from just my PhD to continue the sustainability of the scholarship. So life is such, so just keep moving on, don't expect the world to be fair. And of course, we are also looking at scientific programs in developed countries and other developing nations. So if you want to learn, you have to look left and right. You can't just look at yourself in the mirror. You have to mix around, you have to have some engagement. And that's how, even in international perspective, the formula or the recipe is quite simple. We just have to work together with everyone to engage. And that's how we make things get moved. And our target is by 2030, we want to ensure that all women and men, particularly youth, have the access for affordable and quality higher education. Quality is crucial. Quality, it depends on the university, how they lay out their plans, how they lay out their benchmark, their curriculum, how they do their quality assurance. And that's how the student can get the quality education. But in terms of building yourself, of course, the student has to step up and move fast, because the world is not going to wait for you. So you have to climb into the train and move forward. So when it comes to youth engagement, so there are a few things that I think that apart from what I've discussed, you should also think beyond what you're doing in the classroom. The first thing is that you need to know the employability. You cannot just start a course. You can't just move into a course thinking without any chances of work. What type of work are you going to do? Where are you going to work? Or what are the prospective? What are the opportunities that you can have? So as a student, as a university student, I think it's imperative for you to know this, to how you can move forward in terms of getting a proper job. The second one is, of course, seek donors. You see, eventually, like I said, it's the third time I'm mentioning to you that it all comes back to money. So a youth should be engaged on how to seek donors, on how to seek sponsorship, on how to move along and get people influenced, or encourage people, or encourage companies, foreign investors, to give them the confidence in you that you can get some sort of donor into your university or into your classroom, or any sort of way to engage and to get money into your perspective, because that shows your quality itself. How good can you sell your skills? How good can you master it, what you have learned towards, your observation and your experiences in the university? How do you apply it? But you can do it while being a student. You can move while being a student. You don't have to wait to go into job perspective first, because while you're seeking for donor, you never know your luck. The company might like you, the foreign investors might like you, and they may give you a job or an attachment after your university, or while even you are in the university. Because eventually it all comes back to internal capacity. What can you perform? How can you perform? You need to be confident. You need to be motivated. You need to be energized. You cannot just lay back and wait, like I said, just wait for the world to pass by, because the time doesn't wait for anyone. Time is the most biggest asset that anyone can have. Time and tide. Time and tide means masa dan ombak. Takkan tunggu pada siapa-siapa. You have to move. You can't just wait along and wait for the next phase, wait for the next phase. It doesn't work that way. So try to improve yourself further. And I hope that you can certainly move forward. And this, I think, is one of my final slides. So these are also crucial. This is in terms of international perspective, not global. So, but I think I should share this with you on how certain strategic plans are laid out, on how comprehensive plans are laid out in many foreign countries, because I think these are some of the things that we should consider before we start to plan. So the first thing is going digital at banks. You have to know that after the COVID things have changed tremendously, and some good things are here to stay. So going digital at banks, for those who are interested in banking programs, you can take note of this. A war of talent emerges because you have to be talented in many ways. Don't have to be tension when I say this. You may think that you're not talented in any way, but you can always find some unique attribute within yourself. University or wherever you're studying will be the best place for you to sharpen your skills. The future of work is hybrid. Yes. I mean, there's no such thing as going to be face-to-face. You can be in Indonesia, but you'll be working for someone from probably Netherlands or Norway or somewhere from Zimbabwe. You never know what the future is like. So you need to be aware, you need to know, you need to be prepared that your work could be hybrid, but the investors the money could come in foreign currency into your bank accounts. So online job interviews are here to stay. So no doubt that the borders are open. No doubt that the number of COVID patients and the cases are decreasing as months passes by. Still, the face-to-face notion is not as popular as it was before. So the online job interviews are here to stay. So be prepared to speak nicely through the monitor, speak to the audience nicely, confidently. Don't wear a blazer up here and down there sarung. Make sure you wear pants as well, and then be professional so that you can engage yourself very nicely in the interview. And upskilling impacts talent recruitment is also crucial. You need to know that upskilling is quite a very important factor, especially when it comes to hands-on activity. TVET, I'm referring to TVET in particular. If you're interested in TVET, go for it. If you're interested in mechanics, go for it. If you think that you're good with your hands rather than your brains, please go for it. Start off now. And you can work as part-timers. You can start somewhere, somehow, and anytime during your younger days or during your university. And pressure on technology infrastructure. The things are rapidly changing. Today we have artificial intelligence. Today we have so many types of technology that is coming along our way. That coding is being taught. Can you imagine? Coding are being taught in some countries at the age of primary schools. Coding is supposed to be such a tough skill. But today, the human beings are tested. I mean, just because we have a brain, so even if a small child is tested to study coding, which is not an easy subject at all, but primary school are challenged. They have to face the challenge in studying for coding. Before this was multiple language, now is already coding. So as a student, you need to know all this, what's going around our Southeast Asia, and you can start off planning for yourself, have a long-term planning, short-term planning, 10 years from now, what I want to do, 5 years from now, what I want to do, where I want to go. So have a plan A, plan B, and of course, do not think of getting married immediately after your university. Make sure you find a job first, or try to do your master's, try to do your PhD, try to engage more in companies, try to engage more with foreign investors, try to engage more with foreign organizations. And I'm very sure that some good perspective may come along to you and you can upgrade yourself. So the conclusion is, these are some of the quotes that I have gathered here. I always believe that it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but I feel that those who can best manage change the situation. I mean, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to sustain your sustainability in wherever you are. So you need to know that you have to move along with people and not people move along with you. You have to think that you have to engage first. You cannot be shy. You cannot be embarrassed. You have to speak. So the first thing that you should do, that if you're not good in English, if you feel that you need to improve, please start off that first by speaking, by engaging, by networking. So ladies and gentlemen, dear students, it has been an honor. It has been great. It has been a pleasure to be with all of you here. And I feel really privileged from the Senior Secretariat to be here with you. Thanks for the organizers for having me here. And on behalf of my director, I'm here today with you. I hope that we can engage more, we can work together more, whether here or anywhere. So please keep in touch. And I think that's all from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. It is a nice topic to discuss today. A lot of discussion. Maybe we will go further. But some point that I can write down in here is for the student, don't just wait. Time is the biggest asset. So upgrade, upgrade and upgrade, and then change to collaborative, cooperative, as human are the most adaptive creature. So we can adapt whatever the problem, whatever we are facing forward, such as language barrier and then cultural differences and also lack of financial. We can adapt with that. Okay, there are two participants asking question on the chat. The first is from Aisha. Dear Dr. Kamal, as we know, today there are so many jobs such as influencer, YouTuber, social media operator, etc. Do you think that it is also affected the youth passion to continue their study until highest degree? What about that? That's the first question. The second from Dio. Dio asking 3 questions here. The first is, what are the soft skills that the student need to be improved to be success in the future? The second, how to overcome the lack of confidence, lack of English, lack of assimilation, and other challenge for student. And the last is there any program from CMEO for the student in Indonesia? Thank you. Maybe for the last question, maybe you can share the information for the financial support or for the scholarship or other program that our student in Universitas Brawijaya can take that program. Okay, I will give you opportunity to answer the question. Please answer the question,
Okay,
Dr. Kamal.
Mr. Bayu, thank you so much for having me here, for letting me answer this. So the first question is been asked that there are influencers, there are YouTubers, social media operators, and then that doesn't need education, which is absolutely true, because even in Malaysia, for instance, that the Grab drivers earned much more as compared to the one teaching in school or lecturing, because at that particular time, they can really earn a lot of money without proper education, which is, I really agree with this, what they call opinion. But however, education is here to stay. You have to have at least a basic education. You know, you can think of a YouTuber, influencer, social media, they also went to school. They also had a basic education. Not to say that without any sort of education, they can become what they call a social influencer or a YouTuber or a social media operator. No, it doesn't work that way. At least you have to have a basic education. But whether or not you want to study for your master's to have your highest degree there, it's up to you. It's merely up to you. Having a PhD doesn't mean that you're the smartest person on the planet. No, it doesn't work that way. It shows that you yourself are good in your studies, you yourself want to be recognized, and you yourself are doing something to improve your knowledge within yourself. So it is up to you whether or not you want to study further than your, what you call your degree. But I would certainly encourage you to at least have your basic degree before you go for your master's and PhD. Master's and PhD is optional. But I think degrees is actually the benchmark for any students that can study in the university. So the second one is about what are the soft skills that the students need to be improved to be success in the future. So I think that one of the biggest soft skills that I can think of is adaptability, because this is very, very important. Not all students can adapt themselves from wherever they come from, because some students come from remote areas, some come from urban areas. So sometimes they cannot adapt the situation or the culture of a varsity, the what they call the culture of a dorm. So I think adaptability is number one. Number two is communication. I think communication is crucial, because you need to learn to communicate, you need to move around more, you need to network more, as how I presented just a few moments ago. I think these are crucial as well. And the third thing, between time management and critical thinking, I believe that critical thinking is much more crucial, because time management is also important. But time management, I think we can do it because we are human beings. We just tune ourselves and we can do it. But critical thinking, it comes whether or not you want to think to what extent you can solve a problem. I think that comes a lot through knowledge and observation. You are not born straight away to be a critical thinker. You have to have some sort of experience, some sort of knowledge within you before you can become a critical thinker. Number two is how to overcome the lack of confidence, the lack of English, the lack of assimilation, and other challenges for the students. First thing, if you're not good with sports, go for sports. If you're not good in speaking, go for speaking. You need to identify what are you weak at. You cannot just sit at the back of the lesson or back of the classroom and expect somebody to offer you something. You have to step up. You have to move forward. Go in front of the lecture hall and speak something. Go in front of if you have a Toastmasters club, don't have a Toastmasters club, Google what is Toastmasters club and try to create a Toastmasters club to increase the proficiency of English. Toastmasters Club is a very simple club. You can Google and find out the information about it. And you can just have with some students, with a peer group of friends. I mean, just about 5-6 people, you can do a Toastmasters Club just within yourselves first before it becomes a hit. Try and see whether or not you can speak only English during the lessons. And other challenges, of course, you have to move forward to have more programs with you engaged. And the third one is, I think this is important as well. Any programs from CMU for students in Indonesia. We don't particularly have a program only for Indonesians, but we do have programs for all the 11 countries. So we will advertise through our CMU centers. So if I'm not mistaken, Indonesia has 7 CMU centers. So if you want to get more information on this, we normally assimilate all the information through the CMU centers. So you need to engage to see what type of CMU centers are there in Indonesia first and foremost. And CMU centers in Indonesia are special because they are engaging straight under the government or under the Ministry of Education in Indonesia as compared to other CMU centers across the Southeast Asia. So you need to know what type of CMU centers do they have in Indonesia first before moving into the headquarters. That is important because the information and the experience and the advertisement are all disseminated to the CMU centers in Indonesia and all the 26 centers in the Southeast Asia. That is number one. Number two, keep an eye on social media, especially in Facebook. Like our page, go and like our YouTube channel. Go and like our Twitter or what do you call this, IG, Instagram. Try to look into all this and go and like them. And that's how you get to engage with advertisements. Even now we have an offer. I'm not very sure what type of post is it. Something to do with technical, but I'm not very sure what it is. But you have to know, you have to like all these platforms because these type of platforms are also important for you to gain the information. First of all, you must have the platform to gain information first. Then only you can move forward to think what type of programs that we have for senior. But definitely for Indonesian students, we are always keeping an eye. We are always moving forward. We also have staffs from Indonesia who's working with us. They have been recruited just like me and them through merit, through interviews, through exams. So these are some of the ways we can help Indonesian students to be part and parcel of CMU. And don't just think of CMU. Try to broaden your horizon and think of UNESCO, think of United Nations, think of World Health Organization, think of UNICEF. So you have many other international organizations that could be at your disposal if you are willing to try and move forward. I hope I've answered all the questions, whatever that need to be answered, Mr. Bayu.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. I think that's very clear answer for Dr. Kamal.
Thank you.
Some point. It is a very nice topic, and then the student, all of the students, need to be brave, need to be confident to move forward, because when we move forward, we upgrade ourselves, especially for the student. As Dr. Kamal said, upgrade yourself, it will upgrade our university. And if we upgrade our university, it means higher education, then it will upgrade our nation. So humans are the most adaptive creature. So we need to adapt with the changes,
Yes.
and we need to move forward, try to expand more, and then try to broaden our horizon. So we will success in our future. Okay, is there any question? Anyone? You can raise your hand, or you can type your question here, or you can direct asking question to Dr. Kamal. And please open your microphone and then asking directly to Dr. Kamal. Is there any question for the participant? we still have 5 minutes more before we close this session. Anyone? Please raise your hand. You can use the microphone.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, maybe you can your Zoom, and then you can use the microphone here.
Okay, good morning. Thank you.
Thank you for sudah tamat kan.
Okay, you can continue.
Sudah tamat.
Thank you for the very interesting explanation about the addressing challenge together through youth engagement and internalization. Excuse me, my name Mahmudin from the student of agriculture technology faculty in Untas Brawijaya. We know several programs of the Ministry of Education in Indonesia. We match universities with the business and industry and society, like the matching fund or MPKM. In your opinion, Mr., what are the concept and some important points in community empowerment or community engagement programs for students in the millennial era or in the technology 4.0 in society, business, and industry? Because the student, we know that after graduating from college, from campus, they will return to the society, industry, or the business. Thank you about the concept and some important points in community empowerment or engagement program for students. Thank you for the occasion. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mahmudin Rido from Brawijaya University. Okay, Dr. Kamal. It's time for
Okay,
you to-
what do you call? Thank you, Mr. Mahmudin Rildo. Thank you so much for the question. What do you call? From what I can understand is that after the students graduate, they probably want to go into their working force and how they can sustain and how they can start working, and of course, in terms of financial. You see, every student will have faced this challenge. There is no straight answer for this, because every student will face challenge for this. But what I can tell you, that capacity building is a crucial concept that any student should move forwards towards that. That's the first thing that you come across. There's no other shortcut for any student there. Whether you're rich or poor, or disabled, able, man or women, you have to have the concept of capacity building first. You need to build in yourself first. But you are right on one perspective, that there is no guarantee that you're going to succeed in any company that you join in first. There will be some challenges that come along. So you need to adapt, you need to improve yourself in the varsity itself. Varsity is the best place for you to gain as much experience as possible. And as a timely, I'm telling you, move along with other companies, move along with foreign investors, move along with other organizations while you are in the varsity itself. Because that is one of the main ways that you can get a proper job or a better job perspective. And when it comes to, since you're doing agriculture, I would always suggest you, since you're doing agriculture and I'm from the international background, I feel that Myanmar and Vietnam has a very, very strong background in that. Probably you need to engage with them as well in terms of maybe through diplomatic channel. You can go through diplomatic channel within the Embassy of Indonesia and move along with Vietnam and Myanmar itself, because they sustain themselves through agriculture very, very vastly. Indonesia also is good in agriculture, but Vietnam and Myanmar are equally excellent in agriculture. So that could improve itself. And in terms of business, it's always networking. It's always engaging with people. You may not have the funds. You may feel that business comes into money. Financially, eventually it's all money, you may think, when it comes to business. But no, there are also what they call, that's one term for that, venture capitalists. Means you lay out your program, you lay out your proposal, you show to a businessman, and then you sell your idea. I mean, you don't have to have millions in the bank to do business. Sometimes your ideas is what people want. People are happy with your idea. You need to, what they call, convince your ideas with the international people or with the business opportunities people. The idea is very, very crucial, and that comes from your critical thinking skills that you can gain from your university. So sometimes you just sell your ideas, and that's how you make your money and work with international corporations. I hope I have answered your question, Mr. Mahmood.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. Other important point, upgrade capacity, upgrade experience. You can join the program just like in Indonesia, there are MBKM program, or join other program that will improve or increase your capacity and experience. And then one statement, no shortcut to success. So you need to learn, you need to upgrade your capacity, you need to upgrade your experience. You can try to sell your idea using startup business in any country. So that's our discussion today. I think our time is enough until 10:30 actually. So Dr. Kamal, thank you very much for your topic, for your discussion. And before we close this session, I will give opportunity to Dr. Kamal to give a closing statement or final statement before we close. Please, Dr. Kamal.
I think thank you so much, Mr. Bayu, for being an excellent coordinator here. I mean, you have done it perfectly. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Bayu. Appreciate your your effort in sharing. I have not much advice to say. I think most of it I've already mentioned here, but I always believe that you have to learn to adapt. I always think of that because in South Asia, we are still lacking of adapting ourselves. We still think that our family, our home, our house, our community is everything, and that is the world. But the world is much bigger than that, is beyond that. So try to see National Geographic, try to look into the magazines of Reader's Digest, try to move along and think more, think beyond, and always try to improve your English language. So I think one of the classic example, the student has already asked a question. That's amazing that he can come forward and has the courage to look me in the eye and ask question. That is already a plus point for a particular student, and then he can upgrade himself. Next time he will ask more questions. So that is already a great soft skills that the university has created. So kudos to Brawijaya that you have students like this that can come forward and speak. So that's already an amazing positive attribute the university can see. So well, that's all from me, Mr. Bayu. It's been a very pleasure to meet all of you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. This is a very nice discussion, and thank you for your closing statement. And please, to all of the students and the participant in this conference, please open your eyes, open the Instagram, open the social media for CML or United Nations or other organization. Then you can find the information, you can access, and you can get an opportunity to upgrade yourself, upgrade your capacity, upgrade your experience. Okay, thank you. Before we close this session, I think all of the participants, please open the camera. We will take a picture together with Dr. Kamal. Okay, all of the participants, please open your camera. Maybe the operator can help us to take a picture, take the slide. There are 4 slides here. Okay, I will count. 1, 2, 3. First slide. Okay. The second slide. 1, 2, 3. The third slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The last slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Dr. Kamal and all of the participants in this international conference, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your attending here. Thank you for asking questions in the discussion, and thank you for a lot of topic, a lot of experience that Dr. Kamal shared. And I hope that we hope that all of benefit for us. Thank you very much. And if
Thank
there
you.
is mistaken, that's from me, then thank you very much. I will give it
Thank
back
you.
to Mr. Endang as Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Bayu. Once again, great big thank you to Mr. Andi Kurniawan and Dr. Kamaleswaran Jayaraja for the fruitful thought that enriched our knowledge today. Since this is close to Duhur time and we should do Jum'ah pray, this conference will take a break for 2 hours. So we will continue our session at 1 p.m. Thank you and see you then. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Silakan.